The Olympos 12, or alternatively 12 gods of Olympus, are a group of 12 powerful god-man Digimon who manage the digital world. Iliad, which exists on a different server from the digital world ruled by Yggdrasil, run by a host computer known as Homeros. The Olympos 12 possess abilities rivaling those of the Royal Knights, so the Knights have not felt the need to personally interfere in Iliad's affairs. The members of Olympos 12 protect their own domains, while maintaining a position of neutrality regarding the incidents which arise in the digital world, but some Digimon with a similar goal, like Plutamon, are excluded from their number due to their cruelty in its pursuit. The forces that defied the will of the Olympos 12 and oppose them in battle are never-ending, to the point that the hatred of the Digimon they've defeated has been reborn as Tidamon, who seeks to have their heads. The members of the Olympos 12 resemble humans, either wearing armor based on a specific animal or fused with an animal body. It seems that because of Yggdrasil's will, the Royal Knights will eventually cross servers to the digital world, Iliad server, and meet the Olympos 12. Whether the Royal Knights and the Olympos 12 end up engaging in war or forming an alliance, remains to be seen. Jupiterman is an ultimate level god-man type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Wind Guardian Field, and is a member and the leader of the Olympos 12 group. The name comes from the Roman god of light, of the sky and weather, and of the state and its welfare and its laws. Jupiterman is based on the Olympian god, Jupiter, the mythological Roman god of the heavens and of weather. Its animal motif references the owl, and it rules the domain of sky, thunder, and weather. Jupiterman. One of the Olympos 12, it is a Digimon that rules over thunder and weather as the god that presides over the skies. It is always judging good and evil on the battlefield, and metes out divine punishment to those who choose evil. It makes the decisions dispassionately, wholly excluding any emotion from its judgments. It is said that if someone who continues to disagree with Jupiterman's judgment challenges Jupiterman and wins, the judgment will be overruled, but it's said that none yet exists who could overturn it. If it exchanges blows with the opponent using the hammers in both of its hands, it is able to summon tiny thunderclouds. Its Mabel, which constructs an array of these thunderclouds, automatically looses thunderbolts at those it judges as evil, or those who hinder its arbitration. Its punished judge engraves a seal on the bodies of the opponent struck by its hammers, and bestows a reprieve to their punishments. If it decides to carry out the sentence, they are smote with the thunder of an immense electric current, and the punishment is executed. Its white plasmid, which converts its body into extremely high voltage plasma, is Jupiterman's greatest special move. It inflicts divine punishment all around Jupiterman, and all those who are touched by it are completely disintegrated. Other form of Jupiterman that is still considered as a member of the Olympos 12. Jupiterman Wrath Mode. One of the Olympos 12, it is a Digimon that rules over thunder and weather as the god that presides over the skies. It is always judging good and evil on the battlefield, and metes out divine punishment to those who choose evil. Junomon is an ultimate level god-man type that has the virus attribute. It belongs to Nightmare Soldier Field, and is a member of the Olympos 12 group. The name comes from the Roman goddess of love and marriage. Junomon is based on the Olympian god, Juno, the mythological Roman goddess of marriage, home, and family. Its animal motif references the peacock, and it rules the domain of marriage and childbirth. Junomon. One of the Olympos 12, it is Jupiterman's partner. It stands upon the battlefield as a lover and defender of Jupiterman, where it predicts, detects, and eliminates the insurgents who defy Jupiterman's will. Maybe it's because of its profound love for Jupiterman and personality overflowing with affection, but it has a grasp on all of Jupiterman's habits. Other form of Junomon that is still considered as a member of the Olympos 12. Junomon Hysteric Mode. Another form of Junomon, it was an evil personality sleeping within the innermost depths of its heart, but was awakened. The forces opposing its beloved Jupiterman are never-ending, and if their time together diminishes, it begins drowning in the darkness of its jealousy. Its vitality gradually drains from its countenance, and when it is entirely filled with darkness, a mask of another face manifests. The surrounding Digimon that it sees through this mask are all perceived as evil, so it runs the whole gamut of slaughter. However, this form is never noticed by Jupiterman, so it never suffers the judgment of good and evil. Natunomon is an ultimate level god-man type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Deep Saber's Field, and is a member of the Olympos 12 group. The name comes from the Roman god of freshwater and the sea. Natunomon is based on the Olympian god, Neptune, the mythological Roman god of freshwater and the sea. Its animal motif references the fish, and it rules the domain of sea. Natunomon. One of the Olympos 12, it is a Digimon god of the sea which governs all aquatic Digimon. The scale mail which covers Natunomon's body is made of chrome Digizoid, converted into the blue Digizoid, which excels in agility, so it is capable of moving at terrifying speeds of the sea. They constructed a castle to reside within, the Abyss Sanctuary, at the far depths of the sea, so that only those who can withstand the water pressure of the extreme depths can intrude upon it. Moves are firing off Ascension Spear, King's Bite, Vortex Penetrate, and a gigantic tidal wave which swallows everything, Wave of Depth. Ceresman is an ultimate level god-man type that has the data attribute. It belongs to Wind Guardian Field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman goddess of agriculture, as well as fertility in general. Ceresman is based on the Olympian god, Ceres, the mythological Roman goddess of agriculture, fertility and motherly relationships. Its animal motif references the bird, and it rules the domain of fertility. Ceresman. One of the Olympos XII, Ceresman is a monstrous, gigantic bird Digimon that carries on its back the Carpos hull, a forest bearing the digital world's greatest sweets and famous fruits. With a body composed of rocks and rich, fertile soil, Ceresman's soaring form is definitely the epitome of an island floating in the sky. Sitting on the head of Ceresman is Ceresman Medium, which serves as its true form. Ceresman Medium has practically nil fighting strength, and so rarely, if ever, comes out in public on its own, but it is said that it will occasionally show itself unattended by the monstrous bird to those who earn its trust. Its personality is filled with gentleness and a kind heart, and it is said that it holds out the kindness of its Carpos hull to hungry Digimon, and shelters injured Digimon in its woods until they recuperate. However, it will reverse this attitude and bring terror as if a demonic forest to those who forget the blessings granted by the forests and land, and unnecessarily injure the trees or pollute the soil. Ceresman Medium. Other form of Ceresman that is still considered as a member of the Olympos XII. It is said that it brings terror as if a demonic forest to those who forget the blessings granted by the forests and land, and unnecessarily injure the trees or pollute the soil. Minervaman is an ultimate level god-man type that has the virus attribute. It belongs to Nightmare Soldier Field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare. Minervaman is based on the Olympian god, Minerva, the mythological Roman goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, and the sponsor of arts, trade, and strategy. Its animal motif references the snake, and it rules the domain of strategic warfare. Minervaman. The god-man Digimon which belongs to the Olympos XII and has the appearance of a maiden. Though it has an extremely short physique, it possesses superhuman strength it uses to freely wield a greatsword as large as its own body. It possesses a cheerful personality due to its childlike innocence, but when its emotions become violently unstable, it gets into a bad mood which causes selfish and willful, problematic behavior that no one can help but cope with. Its special moves are a forward rolling slash unleashed from its greatsword Olympia, struck roll, and a horizontal spinning slash too quick to catch with the eyes, Madness Merry-Go-Round. Struck roll splits the ground, and Madness Merry-Go-Round creates a large tornado. Other form of Minervaman that is still considered as a member of the Olympos XII. Minervaman X. The effect on Minervaman's Digicur due to the X antibody. Portions of its hair have enlarged because of the X antibody, and have now become sentient. Referring to themselves as sages, they support Minervaman in battle using their vast knowledge. Although it already had a young physique, it has now become smaller than its cherished sword, Olympia, possibly as a result of its hair taking in nutrients. However, Minervaman does not seem to mind at all, and rejoices innocently at its hair, which it has named Ulula and Serpents respectively, becoming its playmates. Even though it has shrunk in size, its monstrous strength has not weakened at all. It has instead become able to run about nimbly while wielding its Olympia, which is larger than its own body, and has grown increasingly out of control. Its special moves are freely stretching its hair and setting Ulula and Serpents loose, haunted Pylus, and generating a large tornado of blue flames, after performing a powerful horizontal spinning slash, Crazy Go-Round. Also, the energy cannon it fires from the crystal on its shield, Sanctus Tormentum, boasts power rivaling that of the main cannons found on giant battleships, and is said to be able to blow apart a single mountain with ease. Other form of Minervaman that is still considered as a member of the Olympos XII. Minervaman is an ultimate or unknown level god-man type that has the virus or unknown attribute. It belongs to Nightmare Soldier Field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from Minerva, the mythological Etruscan goddess of wisdom and war. Minervaman is based on the Olympian god, Minerva, the mythological Etruscan goddess of wisdom and war. Its animal motif references the snake, and it rules the domain of strategic warfare. Minervaman. The god-man Digimon which belongs to the Olympos XII and has the appearance of a woman. It is the matured form of Minervaman that has amassed experience and achievements over time, and its personality has calmed down considerably to become more mature as compared to its time as Minervaman. Becoming Minervaman has caused it to pursue elegance and sensuality, and as its behavior, speech, and conduct are all overflowing with elegance, projecting a sensual atmosphere in its surroundings. It seeks sensuality even in battle, where it displays its refined, elegant dance moves to mesmerize observers. As such, there appear to be a great number of Digimon that became fans of Minervaman from witnessing its dance. Not only can it perform a power-filled, forward-rolling slash with its greatsword Olympikai, final struck roll, its Night Stalker, in which it extends the medulla on its left arm and swallows the opponent whole, will pursue the opponent anywhere, and the toxic mist sprayed from the medulla's mouth, love poison, causes any enemy that inhales it to have their life squeezed out of them by Minervaman's glamour. Its Madness Merry-Go-Round DX, in which it turns into a tornado by performing a spinning slash which is too quick to be seen, using the Olympia Kai and Medalia, instantly tears limb from limb, any opponent that comes into contact with it. The Polymen is an ultimate level god-man type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Dragon's Roar and Nature Spear's Field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman god of sunlight, prophecy, music, and poetry. The Polymen is based on the Olympian god, Apollo, the mythological Roman god of the sun. Its animal motif references the lion, and it rules the domain of sun. A Polymen. The god-man Digimon that is one of the Olympos XII, that conceals solar class flame energy. This energy has the terrifying power to smelt all substances, and its almost heartless fervor and pride are barely restrained. Its special moves are firing the scorching solar orb generated from the sphere of flame on its back, Soul Blister, and a one-hit knockout fist filled with its hidden power, Phobos Blow. Also, it can continuously fire red-hot arrows from the shining jewels on its hands, Arrow of Apollo. The Animan is an ultimate level god-man type that has the Data attribute. It belongs to Deep Savers and Nature Spear's Field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman goddess of the hunt, forests, and childbirth. The Animan is based on the Olympian god, Diana, the mythological Roman goddess of the hunt, forests, and childbirth. Its animal motif references the rabbit, and it rules the domain of water and ice. The Animan. A god-man Digimon that is one of the Olympos XII, it presides over water and ice, and is able to fight even when the surroundings are below absolute zero. Just as the moon has two sides, light and dark, its personality is of a two-sided nature, and its beauty conceals a terrifying power. The special moves are bewitching in illusion with the mysterious power of the moon, so that the opponent sees itself as its own enemy, and immediately carves itself to pieces, Crescent Harken, and pulling a faintly sparkling arrow of ice from the quill-like protuberances on its back, then firing it, Arrow of Artemis. Also, the lunar light emitted from the Goodnight Sisters on both of its legs, can lure the opponent into sleep, Goodnight Moon. Marsman is an ultimate level god-man type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster and Nature Spear's Field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman god of war and agriculture. Marsman is based on the Olympian god, Mars, the mythological Roman god of war and agriculture. Its animal motif references the panther, and it rules the domain of war. Marsman. A member of the enigmatic Olympos XII, it is a Digimon god of war with the appearance of a panther man. The Olympos XII lie in the shadows and possess ability rivaling that of the guardian deities of the net, the royal knights, and each protects its own domain, while maintaining a position of neutrality regarding the incidents which arise in the digital world. Marsman is well versed in all sorts of combat techniques known throughout the world, including underhanded techniques, and has absolute confidence in battles against others in the same weight class. While Marsman typically uses wrestling techniques, it is so fixated on victory and glory, that when push comes to shove, it will not hesitate to use concealed weapons, such as its tree-knuckler metal Cothomus. However, its true power is exhibited when it uses its bare hands and feet. Its special move is a magnificent aerial assault performed while clad in flames, Corona Sanctions. The Nuzman is an ultimate level god-man type that has the vaccine attribute. It belongs to Virus Buster Field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman goddess of love, sex, beauty, and fertility. The Nuzman is based on the Olympian god, Venus, the mythological Roman goddess of love, sex, beauty, and fertility. Its animal motif references the dove, and it rules the domain of love. The Nuzman. One of the Olympos XII, it is a Digimon that is filled with compassion and rules over love. Wherever the Nuzman is, beautiful flowers bloom profusely no matter how ruined the soil is, and the land's youthful vigor is revived. It is said that there are many Digimon who serve the pure and beautiful Nuzman. The Nuzman can correctly perceive the world with its mind's eye by blindfolding itself, and it isn't taken in by any lie or deception. Furthermore, it restrains its overflowing glamour by concealing its pupils, so it's also a consideration to keep from adding more swooning Digimon. The Nuzman is always accompanied by its bird Olive and its Scalpoden, small friends who can speak animatedly and unreservedly with the Nuzman. Because it is a Digimon that rules over love, it uses a fighting style that pacifies the opponent's heart with each gesture. Its healing therapy makes the opponent's fighting spirit vanish just by caressing their head, and those opponents who receive this love-you-blown kiss fall over from the shock. Also, if they are pricked in the head by the bird Olive, then they get caught up in the peace fantasia, which makes them have peaceful intentions, no matter what kind of ferocious personality it has. Ulcanuzman is an ultimate level god-man type that has the Data attribute. It's unknown whether it belongs to any specific fields. It is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman god of fire and smithery. Vulcanuzman is based on the Olympian god, Vulcan, the mythological Roman god of fire, metalworking, and the forge. Its animal motif references the octopus, and it rules the domain of smithery. Vulcanuzman. One of the Olympos XII, it is a Digimon god of smithery. Most well-known weapons are the work of Volcanuzman, and the famous Berengena cherished by Belzebumon is also an article of Volcanuzman's. It has an artisan's pride and a stubborn personality. It sees through the competence of its clients, and when it feels that they cannot master or will not treasure the weapon, it will deny the request. When building, it performs with a standard of work corresponding to the other party. As such, the Berengena that it put all of its effort into after being charmed by Belzebumon's power is considered to be an excellent article, even by Volcanuzman. Although it's a Digimon that freely manipulates its 8 arms and works in silence, it exhibits an artisan's style even in battle. It radiates its bomber art, flames to use for welding, and manufactures then and there an appropriate weapon to fit the situation, pinpoint weapon works. Furthermore, during its appropriate works, in which it equips its weapons, manufactured one after another with its pinpoint weapon works, to each of its arms, all of Volcanuzman's power is fully unleashed. However, Volcanuzman's own fighting ability is not very great, so it prefers working behind the scenes to fighting in person. Makuramon is an ultimate level god-man type that has the virus attribute. It belongs to Nature Spear's field, and is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman god of commerce, communication, and travel. Makuramon is based on the Olympian god, Mercury, the mythological Roman god of financial gain, commerce, eloquence, messages, communication, including divination, travelers, boundaries, luck, trickery, and thieves. Its animal motif references the wolf, and it rules the domain of diplomacy and god traveler. Makuramon. A member of the Olympos XII, it is a Digimon god of ingenuity who boasts of being the fastest in the digital world. It moves with such exceptional speed that it cannot be seen with the naked eye, so it is said that all images of Makuramon in records and documents are but after-images. It hates staying rooted to one place and is always wandering the digital world, so encountering Makuramon can be rather difficult. Its special move is closing in on the enemy with speed almost akin to performing teleportation, then pouring on a hyper barrage, Thousand Fist. Not only that, Makuramon is an outstanding shaman and is capable of using spiritual enchant, in which it slices through space with its favorite knife Aztec, and summons apparitions from another world. Akuzman is an ultimate level god-man type that has the virus attribute. It's unknown whether it belongs to any specific fields. It is a member of the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman god of wine. Akuzman is based on the Olympian god, Bacchus, the mythological Roman god of the wine. Its animal motif references the snake, and it rules the domain of wine. Akuzman. One of the Olympos XII, it styles itself the digital world's foremost drinker. It is very caring with a cheerful personality, and gathers child or adult Digimon to hold parties day and night. Because it is able to distill any kind of alcohol within its body, it is said that at parties it answers the requests of the Digimon it has befriended and treats them to alcohol. It prefers the taste of fruit wine, and its favorite fruit wine is something fermented from the sweets borne by the Carpos hull forest carried on Ceresman's back, so whenever it can snatch a moment, it eagerly requests Ceresman to let me brew fruit wine. For that reason, it is on very good terms with Ceresman, and they often act together. Also, the data of Akuzman's distilled poison has become an object of study for the crack team, and the rumor questioning whether Akuzman's poison data is related to the preparation of bacteriological weapons, and is part of a plot to assassinate an important person, is whispered as if it were true. Other form of Akuzman that is still considered as a member of the Olympos XII, Akuzman Crapulence mode. Not much is known about this mode change, but it's noticeable that it now has faint mauvish crimson breath, and light pink symmetrical curved marks all over its skin, the signs of its crapulence. Plutamon is an ultimate level god-man type that has the virus attribute. It's unknown whether it belongs to any specific fields. It is related to the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the Roman god of the dead and the underworld. Plutamon is based on the Olympian god, Pluto, the mythological Roman god of the underworld. Its animal motif references the hound, and it rules the domain of underworld. Plutamon. A Digimon that attacks evil with terror and violence, and governs the realm of the dead. It wanders the world pursuing criminals or villains who deserve to fall into the realm of the dead, and it is said that if it detects prey, Plutamon appears wrapped up in a deep darkness. Plutamon, who finds joy only in chewing the wicked, has mouths lined with sharp fangs throughout its body, and the mouths make a chattering sound when it's pursuing its prey. It is feared even by good Digimon for this oddity. It is similar to Jupitermon, who belongs to the Olympos XII, as far as punishing evil, but Jupitermon will not admit it due to his cruelty, and it's said that there's always been a long-standing discord between the two. Tidamon is an ultimate level god-man type that has the virus attribute. It's unknown whether it belongs to any specific fields. It is related to the Olympos XII group. The name comes from the mythological race who were progenitors and enemies of the Olympians. Tidamon is based on the pre-Olympian gods, Titans, the powerful giant race that ruled the world before Olympians in the Golden Age. The Titan of Revenge, Tidamon, was born from the hatred of the Digimon defeated by the Olympos XII in battles over the sovereignty of the digital world. It holds the alias of one-man division, and bearing the inexhaustible energy of its hatred within its gigantic body, it runs through the battlefield seeking the heads of the Olympos XII. Its large arms are covered in a multitude of skulls, which are all data of the power it has stolen from the enemies it has defeated so far. As its gigantic sword Zanjintu is a bone sword carved from Skullgreymann's bones, the hatred filling the sword makes a low growl. The swing of its special move, Konpaku Shinjeki, slides through the opponent's armor and body with its blade, reaching their Digikure unhindered and chopping it up. If one takes this technique head-on, they'll never be able to recover. Its Genjin Mukin, which eviscerates the opponent, causes them to fall into a hallucination that they are still being harrowed, even after the Zanjintu is pulled out, so that they don't stop suffering until their spear dies. Its Kuume gun summons shades based on the skulls on both of its arms, which overrun the enemy's forces as an undead legion. This is the reason Digimon is called the one-man division, and it is treated as if it were a legion, despite being a single being, because it is able to instantly summon a mighty host. Graysnovamon is an ultimate level galaxy type that has the vaccine attribute. It's unknown whether it belongs to any specific fields. It is related to the Olympos XII group. The name comes from grace, meaning courtesy and elegance, and nova, a star that suddenly becomes thousands of times brighter, and then gradually fades to its original intensity. Its mythological equivalent is Meliger, a hero venerated in his Temenos at Kaladin in Anatolia. Graysnovamon, a mythical galaxy Digimon, said to have once been born from the fusion of Apollomon and Dianamon of the Olympos XII, when the digital world, Iliad, was visited by an unprecedented crisis. By colliding the opposing energies of the sun and the moon together, it formed Big Bang-class energy within its body. Because of this, it has been predicted that Graysnovamon itself has become a standalone galaxy, and it is said that it is impossible to measure its total data size accurately. Its special moves are focusing the amplified energy within its body into the palms of its hands, and melting the enemy by touching them, Eclipse Finger, and firing the 8 Maligros blades mounted on its back to pursue the enemy, until they are destroyed. Kaladin Arcus. Homeros is the host computer that rules over the digital world, Iliad. Homeros is the closest to Yggdrasil in its function, and so far is the only one that we have at least idea that he is still an active character, and has not lost his function through time. Homeros is the ruler of a digital world different from that of Yggdrasil, Iliad. Unlike Yggdrasil, who seeks to rule his own world, Homeros ignores the existence of laws, or the concept of right and wrong, allowing all in Iliad to exist in any way they choose, by following their free will. As some beings oppose the anarchism proposed by Homeros, a group known as Olympos XII was created to be like the royal knights of Iliad. However, this was opposed to the intention of Homeros, that banished them to the world of Yggdrasil. In the future, Plitamon, Tidamon and the Titans' army were sent to the world of Yggdrasil to destroy Jupitermon, leader of the Olympos XII.